So I know I want to say good evening, and I'm Dennis Young, one of the co-publishers of the Town Crier. I want to welcome everybody to the event tonight. As Kathy said earlier, we wish we were at the country club, but tonight we honor 5 deserving recipients of the 2020 Los Altos of the Year. 2020 was the worst year in recent memory, but it often brought out the best in us. And the young recipients we're honoring tonight are among many in our community who stepped up and made a difference. Whether helping to provide masks for healthcare workers, championing the cause of racial justice, or helping local youth deal with stress, our honorees reached out beyond their comfort zones to help our community through these very difficult times. We'll be talking about each of our recipients a little later in the program, but in the meantime, Town Crier co-publisher Howard Bischoff and third member of our ownership group, Kathy Lyra, have some introductions to make. So Howard.
Thank you very much, Dennis, and good evening to everyone. Thanks for joining us on this very special night. And of course, let me say congratulations to all of our honorees. For those of you who don't know, the Los Altos Town Crier has been publishing since 1947. And to have that kind of longevity, it helps to have a committed and dedicated staff. It's my privilege to introduce the staff members who are joining us here tonight. Our editor-in-chief, Bruce Barton, is here. You'll be hearing from Bruce in a few minutes. Bruce has been with the Town Crier since 1993. Eliza Ridgway is our new media editor and website guru. Eliza also helped make this Zoom event possible, so a big thank you to her. Megan Winslow, our chief photographer and reporter, is here. Zoe Morgan, who covers the education beat for us, is in attendance tonight, and so is Los Altos reporter Eric He. From our sales department, I'd like to introduce Alo Mano is with us. And just a brief description of these people really doesn't do them justice. Each and every one of these folks does a lot more behind the scenes than the duties I just mentioned. They go above and beyond to put out a great product every day for you, our readers. And one of those people is our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Kathy Lyra, who is here to introduce our previous Los Altos of the Year. Kathy?
Thanks, Howard. And it's so nice to be here tonight. As I had said earlier, it would be even nicer to be at the country club, but this is still a wonderful way to celebrate these great awardees. So former publishers, Paul and Liz Nyberg, bought the Town Crier in 1993. And that's when most of us kind of started our association with the Town Crier. But not long after, they introduced the Los Altos of the Year. And it was an annual tradition modeled after Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Larry Chu Sr. of our iconic Chef Chu's restaurant was our first honoree back in 1994. Since then, we have recognized 30 individuals and 1 foundation over those 26 years. Some of the past Los Altos of the Year are in our presence tonight. They are Bob Adams and Lois Adams, Claudia Coleman, Lynn Edwards, John Mordeau, Jeannie McVicker, Richard Hasenflug, Paul and Liz Nyberg, and Dennis Young. So thank you for attending and thank you for making a difference in our community. And let's give a big round of applause to all of them.
Yay.
Yeah, Zoom wise. Now here's our editor, Bruce Barton, with a few words about the purpose of the honor and why we changed things up quite a bit in 2020.
Thanks a lot, Kathy. The Town Crier's Los Altos of the Year recognizes residents who have spread goodwill through their deeds and made a positive impact on their community. In the past, we've honored established individuals with a long history of contribution. This past year, with so many changes, we felt it appropriate to take a different approach as well. We've noticed that many of our community volunteers pitching in were young people. It has been a demographic long neglected in our past Los Altos of the Year honors. We're changing that this year. Our 5 honorees are either attending high school or college. Each of them were inspired to overcome the confines of COVID-induced isolation to help and educate others and take on leadership roles. We thank Kelly Lam, Angelina Lue, Kenan Moos, Riley Simonsen, and Kiyoshi Taylor for their efforts and for being here tonight, virtually speaking. We'll be giving an overview of each honoree and offer them an opportunity to say a few words. You'll have an opportunity to cheer for all of them. Hold your applause until after their introductions. Here's Howard to get us started. Howard?
Thank you, Bruce. Mental health is an often overlooked yet extremely important issue to address as we deal with this pandemic. Our next 2 recipients stepped up in this area to improve the lives of their struggling peers. Riley Simonson's positive outlook and leadership abilities have friends and family members reaching out for her advice. She is now applying those attributes to help in the broader community. The helpful 16-year-old junior at St. Francis High School said the Community Health Awareness Council's inspiring work prompted her to join the Mountain View organization's Teen Advisory Council, or TAC, back in September. She wanted to learn how she could help others around her deal with mental health issues. Riley is now a member of TAC Mates, a buddy program that connects teens with younger children who share a common interest. The program promotes bonding among participants through activities like games and art projects. She has also helped work on the TaxMates mission statement. It's always really fun to have people who are older than you say, "Oh yeah, I'm friends with this person," she told the town crier. It kind of makes the little kids feel cool to have somebody older. I've definitely thought it would be really fun to be that person for somebody. Because I know when I was younger, those older people who paid attention to me, I always found out they were really cool and really valued them in my life. So I hope to be the same for some elementary school student. In addition to CHAC, Riley is part of a teen advisory group for Liftly, a company that administers mental health and emotional support through an app. The app's features include anonymous peer support, mood tracking, positive goal setting, and journaling. Riley meets with Liftly's product development team and chief operating officer weekly to review new features, propose new ideas, and to discuss how everything is working. The town crier is pleased to call Riley Simonsen a 2020 Los Altos of the Year. Riley, congratulations. You have a few comments for us?
Yeah, thank you. I've always felt so blessed and lucky to live in our little town. Since I was a young girl, I've felt the warmth of our community. It defined my childhood. It was also defined by the people in this community. Almost any time I'm in town, it's a guarantee that I'll be embraced by someone from my childhood. After winning this award, the community has embraced me with open arms, and I cannot tell you how many nice text messages, tweets, and Instagram posts I've received from people here in town. People I haven't even met have stopped me on the street. Funny enough, people are even recognizing my dog, Penny. One lady stopped my dad and asked if that was the dog in the Town Crier Person of the Year article. As they parted ways, she yelled, "Oh yeah, and congrats to your daughter too." I don't know, maybe next year the Town Crier should have a Dog of the Year award or something. Service has always been a very meaningful part of my life here in Los Altos, and the support I felt through the service in this community has been like a big warm hug after a really tough year. I'm so honored to be recognized with a group of young people like all of you on this Zoom tonight. I hope one day we can actually meet in person and share stories. All of your stories have made me want to keep pushing myself to do more and never sit on the sidelines. My biggest thank you goes out to Shannon and Amrita at the Community Health Awareness Council. This summer, when I was stuck at home, I felt like time was wasting away, and they answered my email making a pitch to join the Teen Advisory Council. TAC was absolutely perfect for me. Both Shannon and Amrita are inspiring and relatable group leaders who know how to talk to teens. They get what's going on in our lives and know how to pull together our group to accomplish a mission. They keep our meetings engaging and fun, and they trust us and empower us. They are special women I look up to, and I want to thank them so much for all. I also would like to thank my family, the best people in the world. They are the most supportive group of people. Right now, my 85-year-old grandfather is sitting in Denmark watching this because he didn't want to miss it live. It's 4 a.m. his time, so I'm so grateful for his support. I would also like to thank my awesome parents, my 2 little sisters, Elle and Avery, my grandma, my aunts, cousins, and all the rest of my family on this call supporting me. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to Bruce and Megan at the Town Crier for writing a wonderful story, and to Howard for personally dropping off the award at my home. Thanks to everyone at the Town Crier for recognizing the hard work of young people, respecting our opinions, and giving us all a platform to inspire others. I'm grateful that I can help kids and teens struggling with mental health, and that I can support them through this tough time. At the end of the day, everyone deserves to feel a big warm hug of support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Riley.
Thank you.
Our next winner, Kelly Lam, a 16-year-old junior at Los Altos High School, also decided to join the Community Health Awareness Council's Teen Advisory Council after witnessing stress and anxiety among her peers, internal conflicts compounded since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Kelly says she wanted to help destigmatize mental health at this critical time. As part of TACmates, Kelly serves as a buddy and a mentor to elementary school children. She's also employed her extensive artistic background as a member of the program's visual committee, and has also designed posters and flyers to advertise its activities. A lot of people are missing out on the human connections right now because of the limited contact we have with other people, Kelly says. That's also kind of part of the reason we started TACmates, our buddy program, because children and people in general were all lacking the connection with others, no matter what your age, because of the coronavirus. She enjoys working with children, and she really, really wants to focus on making a difference. As she put it, in addition to CHAC, she serves as a camp aide for the Community School of Music and Arts, and she's a volunteer with Quarren Tutors, which offers free tutoring to students around the world. At Quarren Tutors, she's established an ongoing relationship with a 5th grade student from India, with whom she communicates over Zoom to help him with his classes. She specializes in math instruction, particularly algebra. I know a few people here that could probably need help from Kelly. Kelly puts her considerable talents to full use, inspired by a need to help others. And the Town Crier is pleased to name Kelly as one of our 2020 Los Altans of the Year. Congratulations, Kelly. Would you like to make a few comments?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good evening so far. So at the start of 2020, I'll be honest, I had a pretty apathetic attitude towards things. And because of the pandemic, I felt a lot of hopelessness about not being able to change the world. I felt small and powerless. Everything around me was changing so quickly, and I felt anxious and out of place. But there was something within me that motivated me to change my attitude and start making a difference. Though it may be unrealistic, I've always had a fiery desire to do everything I possibly can to inspire change and improve not just our community, but perhaps even society as a whole. That's why I decided to join the Teen Advisory Council, or TAC, and I'll be forever glad to have made that decision. Riley and I, along with our fellow members, which include Tisha, Sonia, Noah, Abby, Emily, Richard, Sophie, Colin, and Mira, we've all been at hard work to make our project, TACmates, happen. And we will continue working on it along with our future projects as we move forward into 2021. We really hope our work will help more people and destigmatize mental health in our community. When I look around the Zoom meeting, I see the faces of people who've done so many amazing things, and I admire them so much for all the hard work they've done to improve our community. That's why I'm extremely honored to be able to stand with them. I'd like to thank my friends and my family for all their support, especially my mom, who's always pushing me forward. My fellow teammates at TAC for believing in me. My advisors at SHAC, Amrita, Shannon, and Marcia, for having faith in me, and all the wonderful staff at the Los Altos Town Crier for giving us this tremendous honor. In the future, I'll continue to do my best, together with everyone, to make the world a better place. Thank you very much.
Bruce, I believe you are next.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kelly. That was a fantastic acceptance speech. Yes, on to our next two recipients. The death of George Floyd last year at the hands of Minneapolis police officers was a call to action for so many across our country. It prompted Kenan Moos to not only participate in protests, but to lead them. He joined forces with fellow Los Alton of the Year, Kiyoshi Taylor, to lead a Black Lives Matter demonstration in Los Altos and Mountain View. Together, they created Justice Vanguard, a coalition of primarily students, alumni, and staff from the Mountain View Los Altos High School District to continue their work. Kenan grew up in Los Altos, attending Los Altos Public Schools and graduating from Los Altos High School in 2016. In a community where Black people make up a fraction of 1% of the demographic, he experienced racism. He realized as early as middle school that his skin color made him stand out. I've always felt this weird tug of war between feeling white and Black, he told the town crier. I've always have felt more attached to my Black side, but I didn't feel like I had a voice until more recently. His voice is now out and it helped spur a local movement. When he looked up and saw thousands in Los Altos who turned out for the protest last June, it felt like the first time that something could actually change. They came out to stand for Black lives, Kenan said. They came out for this movement, and that felt really good and really empowering. You know, it takes courage and conviction to lead efforts to bring change to a community's culture. Thanks to Kenan's efforts, city leaders have begun to listen and act. They've reviewed policing policies and have pledged to look into improved alternatives to the school's resource officer program. While this is only a start, more and more residents are becoming aware of what Black Lives Matter and white privilege really mean. The town crier congratulates Kenan on this honor. Kenan, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. Let me start off by saying good morning, everyone. That's something I always start with. How are we doing? I hope you guys are having a good night. Something I like to kind of keep going through all this work. I mean, you kind of hear the tone change as we started talking about this, the death of George Floyd.
Kenan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your voice is very faint. I can barely hear you.
How about now?
Oh, much better.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. So a big thing for me is always bringing positivity to things we're doing. I mean, as soon as we started talking about this, you can hear the tone change, and it's the death of George Floyd sparked this. And that is true. But at the same time, as we're making these changes, I mean, a little internal thing that Kiyoshi and I always say, we're solving racism with a smile and trying to stay positive on our own, because if we're dealing with all these negative things, it just stays negative. And that's why it's so crazy and so amazing that we have these cool people around us, like Donnelly, like Megan, and other staff at Los Altos, like many other students and old classmates that we've run into who have stepped up and helped put this kind of force behind our change. People like Kalinda Price as well, stepping up and making our voices kind of heard together. This is just the beginning of the fight, and it doesn't feel bad to be recognized that things are happening and changes are being made. So thank you, you guys. Let's keep the fight going. Black Lives Matter. Also, check in the background, my little artwork. I have a Black Panther eating a pig. That's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kenan. Thank you, Kenan. Like Kenan, Kiyoshi grew up in Los Altos, feeling like he didn't have much of a voice. In particular, he was mistaken for someone who was up to no good. He's described several incidents in which he was harassed by school personnel. He described the whole system coming down at him at times. Such stories related to council played a role in members' decision to end the school's resource officer program at Los Altos High. And of course, I lost my place. Over the summer, Kiyoshi, who has led several protests in recent years, organized his biggest one yet following the death of George Floyd. Thousands of people turned out, marching for justice and police accountability. They work to dispel the notion that communities like Los Altos are immune from racism. People are just kind of waking up, Kiyoshi said. Even though we say we're progressive, this problem is right here in our own hometown. This isn't just a New York or Detroit issue. This isn't Alabama or Southerners issues. We do the same thing right here. We thank Kiyoshi for his efforts to make his community a better place through education and awareness of these racial issues. Congratulations on your honor, Kiyoshi. Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for this honor. Real quick, I got to shout out Kenan. I couldn't have done this without him. And he also promised a smoke machine. So there you go. Boom.
Nice.
Dramatic entrance. But on the real though, I thank you guys so much for this award, but honestly, it's just a reflection on this town and how much you guys were willing to listen, how much you guys were willing to learn, and how much we were able to have a progressive and helpful dialogue. So if anyone should pat themselves on the back, it's this community. I've never been more proud of it, honestly. But 2020 was extremely challenging, and my people of the year were the teachers at Los Altos and Mountain View High, like Seth Donnelly, Kalinda Price, Megan Block. The list just goes on and on and on. And that's who we need to really celebrate today, is the teachers who are still, giving their all, doing their best for our students in our future. So I just give it up to them. I also have to give it up to Lassay and all the other people of Justice Vanguard and Change for Mountain View High School. There's a lot more young talent out there than just me, and this wouldn't be possible without them. And one of the things we were preaching and talking a lot about in all these marches was education is key. And in 2021, since I'm with the town crier, you can put it on record, we will have ethnic studies ready to go in classrooms by 2022. That's something I'm still fighting for, and I'm glad to see, we still have the support for it, and this town seems to be for it. So, let's back our teachers and let's get this done. We have a lot of work to still do. And just on a personal level, I know we got a lot of people from Ohio out here right now. I just want to, on a personal level, dedicate this award to my late father. He taught me how to think critically, and in these trying times, we don't have enough of it, and thinking critically is the most important weapon we have. And besides dedicating it to my father, Ken Taylor, I would also like to dedicate this to my cousin, Christopher Taylor, who also recently passed. He taught me the power of hard work, always doing what you think is right. So I hope you guys always carry that with you guys. Just do what you think is right. Trust me, it pays off. It pays off. So thank you, Los Altos.
Thanks, Kiyoshi. So here's Kathy to introduce our next recipient. Kathy, take it away.
Thank you. And thanks, Kiyoshi. I love the smoke effect. Definitely prepared for the night. So I'd like to talk about our next recipient. At the onset of the pandemic last year, when healthcare providers faced a shortage of personal protective equipment, Los Altos High School student Angelina Lue sprang into action. It all started when a friend told her that his mom was working at a hospital in San Jose administering COVID-19 tests to patients without even having a mask to protect herself. Angelina found it really shocking to see nurses on social media begging for personal protective equipment. I was like, wow, I don't want to just watch this happen, she told the town crier. People are risking their lives and we can't even provide bare minimum protection. She reached out to friends on social media and they set up a GoFundMe page that raised thousands of dollars to purchase masks. Here, her prior experience in fundraising and outreach played a major role. When she was in the 8th grade, Angelina founded Ivory Teas. After learning about the elephant poaching crisis, Ivory Teas sells clothing, which Lue designs, and all the profits are donated to fostering baby elephant orphans through the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. Through Ivy Trees, Lue had experience working with clothing suppliers and was able to reach out directly to mask sellers. In many cases, they were based in China and spoke Mandarin, but Angelina's mom was able to help her translate. When Angelina and her friends started the project, which they dubbed Fighting for Heroes, she said they expected to be able to donate 1,000 or 2,000 masks, which seemed like an ambitious goal. They ended up collecting and distributing nearly 41,000 of them. Pretty spectacular. Her team ended up distributing those masks to more than 30 healthcare centers around the Bay Area and throughout the nation. The town crier thanks Angelina for undertaking this ambitious effort, one that has such a far-reaching impact on the war on COVID. And we are so proud to present you our 2020 Los Altos of the Year honor. Angelina, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. So this award is dedicated, as you mentioned, to the heroes fighting on the front lines who have really put themselves out there in the most dangerous positions. And I think in the beginning of the pandemic, at least a lot of my fellow friends and high schoolers, we thought it was going to be over in a couple weeks and it was a small issue that we would just pass by. We'd go back to school in like a month or less than a month. And we soon realized that this wasn't the case. And we also were really inspired by the dedication of the healthcare heroes on the front lines. And so we decided we didn't want to just sit and watch and let it happen without being involved. And we found a purpose in being able to get involved and being able to support the community. And with my previous experience, I had never really experienced quite a big team of 30 plus girls who've supported me and also who've been involved and super enthusiastic to continue this effort. And we're actually doing a bake sale very, very soon. And I'm really dedicating this also to my team who've been helping donate masks and going out and driving to San Francisco and helping ship masks all around the nation to people who are really doing everything that they can to solve an issue that has affected us and changed our lives in so many different ways. And I also want to thank the community. We couldn't have done this without the Los Altos community, the Mountain View community, the entire Bay Area for supporting our cause and really being able to spread our mission to really come together in a time when we really need it, really need it the most. And I also am super honored to be sharing this award with so many cool teenagers and college students and high schoolers who've been making such a big difference in our community. And finally, thank you to Bruce and Zoe for giving me this platform and everyone at the Los Altos Town Crier for supporting youth and really making our voices heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina. So I think now Eliza is going to unmute all of us so we can give a huge round of applause and bell ringing to all our Los Altos of the Year.
Yay!
Congratulations!
You'll have a chance to ring your bells in just a few more minutes.
Smoke! Kenan's got smoke.
You guys give me great hope for the future.
And now let's hear from the current Los Altos mayor, Nisa Flagler. Nisa, you there?
I am. Thank you, Dennis. And I've been to a few Los Alton of the Year events, and I have to say, this one is definitely the most fun. I don't think we have had a smoke machine at any of the events before. So it will be memorable for many reasons. So first, let me add my congratulations to the 5 Los Altons of the Year. 2020 will be remembered for many things, and that list will include it being the year of millennials and Gen Z. They really made the difference on all the top issues of 2020, from racial and social justice, environmental, the presidential election, and of course, COVID. And so it was very fitting for the town crier to select this group of individuals to receive the Los Alton of the Year award. I will now present each of these very impressive individuals with proclamations from the city, and I will read each one, and I'll do it alphabetically. So whereas, and I'll start with Kelly Lam, whereas Kelly Lam used her artistic talents and volunteer spirit to help children across the world learn more and to expand a buddy program in the Bay Area. And whereas through the Community Health Awareness Council, CHAC, Kelly Lam has taught children about self-care during the pandemic and spread the word about Community School of Music and Arts, CSMA, and the TACmates, a program that connects people to allow better human connection during COVID-19. And whereas Kelly Lam was involved with Quarantutors, a tutoring service that allowed her to tutor elementary children, including a 5th grade student in India. And whereas her involvement in CSMA helped elementary school children in the Bay Area and across the globe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Nisa Flagger, Mayor of the City of Los Altos, and on behalf of the entire Los Altos City Council and the people of Los Altos, do hereby commend Kelly Lam for her passion and dedication to serving our community, and congratulate her on being selected by the Los Altos Town Crier as the Los Alton of the Year 2020. Here's the proclamation, Kelly. And well, maybe you can't see it because of my background, but we will mail this to you. Next, I'll read the proclamation for Angelina Lue. Whereas Angelina Lue helped to protect the Bay Area emergency workers by providing them with desperately needed personal protective equipment during the COVID-19 pandemic through her program, Fighting for Heroes. And whereas Angelina Lue and her friends collected $16,000 from the community and used this money to buy masks from supplies in China, with her mother translating. And whereas under the leadership of Angelina Lue, Fighting for Heroes used these donations to provide roughly 41,000 masks to healthcare centers in the Bay Area and across the country. And whereas when healthcare centers began to reestablish mask supplies, Fighting for Heroes then turned their attention towards senior centers and other long-term care facilities to continue distributing masks. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Nisa Flagger, Mayor of the City of Los Altos, and on behalf of the entire City Council and the people of Los Altos, do hereby commend Angela Lue for her exemplary leadership and dedication to serving our community through Fighting for Heroes and being selected by the Los Altos Town Crier as Los Alton of the Year 2020. Next, I'll do Kenan Moos. Whereas Kenan Moos has worked to spread awareness and a better understanding of racial and social justice issues in Los Altos and the broader community. And whereas Kenan Moos helped to educate the community about celebrations such as Juneteenth, as well as actively fighting against systemic racism. And whereas he and others have used their voices to support the creation of the Los Altos Citizens Policing Task Force to examine certain aspects of policing in Los Altos, which resulted in the Los Altos City Council taking action. And whereas Kenan Moos, along with others, continues to be a voice in our community on racial and social justice issues. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Nisa Flagger, Mayor of the City of Los Altos, and on behalf of the entire City Council and the people of Los Altos, do hereby commend Kenan Moos for his dedication to racial and social issues and the work he has done to influence positive change, and congratulate him on being selected by the Los Altos Town Crier as Los Altan of the Year 2020. Riley Simonsen. Whereas Riley Simonsen used her positivity and exuberance to expand the Community Health Awareness Council, CHAC, the buddy program there, and Liftly services to help more children in the community. And whereas through CHAC, Riley Simonsen connected elementary school children with older buddies that had similar interests to have better human interactions during the pandemic. And whereas Riley Simonsen also worked with Liftly and Hope Services to help people with developmental disabilities and mental health needs during the pandemic. Her involvement in these organizations helped children and countless others with mental health during the pandemic. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Nisa Flagger, Mayor of the City of Los Altos, and on behalf of the entire City Council and the people of Los Altos, do hereby commend Riley Simonsen for her passion and dedication to serving our community, and congratulate her on being selected by the Los Altos Town Crier as Los Altan of the Year 2020. And I'll end with Kiyoshi Taylor's proclamation. Whereas Kiyoshi Taylor has worked to spread awareness and a better understanding of racial and social justice issues, and whereas starting in 2014, Kiyoshi Taylor has been using his voice to dispel the notion that racism does not exist in communities such as Los Altos, as well as organizing marches and protests for Black Lives Matter. And whereas Kiyoshi Taylor, along with the help of others, continues to be a leading voice for racial and social justice issues. And whereas Kiyoshi Taylor, inspired by the recent support in Los Altos for social justice causes and hopeful for the future, is dedicated to continuing to take a leadership role in advocating for these issues. And now therefore be it resolved that I, Nisa Flagger, Mayor of the City of Los Altos, and on behalf of the entire City Council and the people of Los Altos, do hereby commend Kiyoshi Taylor for his exemplary leadership and dedication to serving our community and being selected by the Los Altos Town Crier as Los Altan of the Year 2020. And with that, I will just say congratulations again. Well done, and I look forward to seeing you all continue to support and commit and contribute to our community. So thank you.
Let's hear some applause for the gang here.
Hey, good job.
Thank you, Nisa. That was good. Our future, we know, is in good hands with our young people not waiting until later in adulthood to make a decision. As we've heard, they're making a difference now, and we hope the efforts of our Los Altans of the Year for 2020 will inspire others to follow. We've given each of our recipients their own Los Altos Town Crier bell. And at this time, with their names actually in the year etched on them, and we'd like Angelina, Kenan, Kiyoshi, Riley, and Kelly to show us their bells and give them a ring. Good. And let's all give them a wonderful round of applause. Again, these are wonderful people.
Yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're gonna leave it unmuted for a few minutes. So it's a free for all. Put it on, put it on Gallery Brady Bunch. Those of us that are old enough to remember that, that's probably not appropriate. But on Gallery View, we can see everybody and unmute yourselves and talk to each other. Talk to your grandfather. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. As Kathy is hoping, we'll be at the country club next year.
Yes.
And you'll all be invited. So,
Don't forget the smoke screen, Kathy.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Need that machine.
One thing I'd like to say about Los Altos of the Year is it's not just 1 year. When you folks are named Los Altos of the Year, it's an honor that you carry with you for life.
You bet.
To come back.
You'll be invited back again and again.
Yeah, just like all the predecessors that have joined us tonight. It's an annual event.
Absolutely.
We hope
We have high
you
expectations.
all at the country club next year. Thank you.
We hope. Yep.
And
And then-
that's our formal program. And as I say, we'll leave it open so everybody can visit.
Well, this is Richard, and I'm glad that they put their names on the bells this year, because as I said before, Paul and Liz kept taking mine back.
We have
Okay,
a
Richard,
rebuttal
you better
from
be
Liz.
careful because Paul and Liz are here.
Yes.
Careful, Dick.
And there may be a couple other people on this call that have one of my re-gifted bells. I don't know. Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody. Thank you all for attending tonight. This has been really special. It's heartwarming, especially in these times.
Well, it is.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Great event. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Paul and I just want to thank the newest Los Altons of the Year. It's wonderful to be honoring a much younger generation. And I feel like our country, at least our city, is in good shape, having you so willing to go out and beyond and be creative and help others with your heart. And it shines through. So we just thank you for doing that. Congratulations tonight.
Absolutely.
Dennis, that was such a terrific idea to have the selection of 5 students as the Los Altos of the Year. I think it's really an outstanding credibility to you guys at the Town Crier and keeping this this program moving along.
Thank you, Bob.
Dennis, we at CHAC are so proud to be part of the Los Altos community. I am just so proud of our, and congratulations to all of the winners. We work with teens so much and we are so inspired by them. And these leaders in the community are just making a difference. I agree. It's just so inspiring to be a part of it and know that this generation is moving us forward. We have all kinds of challenges, but when you see these 5 people, you just know we're in good hands and it will continue. So I also want to thank the Town Crier for the opportunity to be able to showcase this incredible work they do, and they're exemplary of this wonderful town and the community that they're a part of. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia. For those that don't know, Marcia is the president of CHAC, and which does a wonderful job and needs all our support.
I agree.
So, not that Nisa and I sit on the board, but that's something different. Right, Nisa?
We would feel the same way even if we weren't board members, Dennis.
Yeah.
I tell you, I think all 5 of our recipients have futures as orators because the speeches by the 5 of them are outstanding.
I agree, Bruce.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Absolutely.
Well deserved.
Say a little something. This is Kim Mosley from the Los Altos Chamber of Commerce. Just also wanted to chime in and congratulate our 5 Los Altons of the Year. Incredibly proud of you. Several of you I know personally, and I'm so proud of the work that you've done this year and support you in any way that we can from personal side and chamber side. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
I'd like to make a quick comment. I think about the LEAD program, and we're always getting people within the community to get inspired to become leaders and to get involved. And I have to say, you're coming at the perfect time of getting all this experience and to think about how you can take your great assets and your skills and apply it to community. It's a whole, where you live 24/7. It's a lot of nurturing and it leads a lot of leadership. And it's just a thrill to see all of you involved in what you're doing now. And hopefully you'll inspire those who are trying to get in the adult community to get more involved in our commissions and run for city council and get on the school board. And boy, you're right there now. And it's just a joy to see what you're providing, what you're doing, and the unbelievable talent that you have. Bravo to you all.
Thank you, Claudia.
Nice, Claudia.
Thanks, Claudia.
Thank you, Claudia.
Anybody else? Or Eliza, what do you think we should do? Close this puppy?
What do you think? Is that a? I hesitate to cut us off, but as long we could go out on a strong note. I'd like to let everybody know that you had about 70 people here cheering you on tonight, and it was a pleasure to get to be one of them. And if any of you, most of you, I think, have already been watching chat, because we have had this whole other conversation going on the side of Zoom where, as people were talking, everybody else was cheering some celebratory emojis, and I just see this stream of praise and joy on the side. So before I end the meeting, if anyone didn't take a look at the chat, it is a long scroll of excitement about you guys. So thank you for all of the well wishing. I'm so impressed that everybody seems to know how to use Zoom chat. I mean, it really has been a year, hasn't it?
And
a year ago, we didn't even know what Zoom was.
Our Los Altos of the year, this has been recorded. So let, I guess, Eliza at elizar@latc.com know if you want a copy, or I don't know if you're going to upload it to YouTube, but they can all have copies. Of any of you that want a copy, elizar@latc.com, and we'll get you a copy of the 50-minute recording.
Yep, I love it. I love it. We stopped under our deadline. Everyone, go have dessert.
Yeah.
I think we cheer and we see some smoke. That would be a good way to close.
Yeah.
Can we go out with a final cheer and smoke?
Guys, real quick, I just want to say something about the Town Crier. It's since I was like a little kid, it has come such a long way. Like the newspaper it is today, it's fabulous. It's like top of the line. I'm 22. Like, I'm on my phone, but I'm excited to read your guys' newspaper. Hats off to the Town Crier. I don't think it's just such a great reflection of the town. They're some of the people we really should be celebrating as well. So thank you, Town Crier.
Thank you.
Great.
Kiyoshi.
Thank you.
Good man.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. All the best.